Good day, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Miss Esther. Okay, today I'm going to be speaking to us about something very, very important. I'm going to be speaking to us about purpose. Yes, you heard me right. I'm going to be speaking to us on purpose. The simplest form to define purpose, the simplest way to define purpose is the reason why something exists, the reason why you were created, the reason why you exist. So that's like the simplest form to define what purpose is. Purpose is just the reason why something was created, or the reason why something exist. The fact that we have maybe cars and different technologies around the world today is because we want people have been able to discover their easier way to make life more comfortable for everyone. The reason why we have a car today is because we have to make people have been able to understand that transportation has to be made easier for people who traveled, and then that's like the main reason why those particular technologies were created. So today I'm going to be talking about purpose, and I'm going to be I will center it down to the biblical form of biblical way of purpose. So like I said before, purpose is the reason something exists. Purpose is the reason why you were created. Purpose was the reason why I was created. So if you could remember, when God wanted to make man, God finished creating everything that He wanted to create on earth. He finished creating the land, the sea, the firmament, animals, and the rest of it. And then He was looking for a steward. He was looking for someone who was going to manage those particular things that He created. And what did He do? He created a man. He created a person. So the reason why He created Adam Adam was the fact that he wanted Adam to have dominion. He wanted Adam to take charge over everything that he created. Let's go down to the book of Genesis chapter 1 from verse 28. He said, "And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful." Fruitfulness is one. "And multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth." So when God created Adam, God had something in mind before He created Adam. He already created the world, just like I said before. He already created the firmament. He already created the birds of the air. He already created all the living creatures in water. And then He needed someone to be able to oversee the affairs of everything He created. And that was the reason why He created man. So the reason why God has created us here on earth is that He said He wants us to be fruitful. So God's desires for me and you is fruitfulness. He wants us to be productive in whatever we do, whatever we lay our hands on. He wants it to be fruitful. And then He said, multiply. So God does not just want you to remain in a particular spot. God does not want you to remain in a particular position. For the fact that He said be fruitful, for the fact that He said be productive, and then multiply. He wants you to not just stay in a particular position. He wants you to expand. That is one of the reasons why God created us. And then He said, and replenish the earth and subdue. That's like having charge, taking dominion over everything on it. And He said, have dominion over the fish of the sea and every other thing that He created. So one of the reasons why God created us is for purpose. The primary purpose of our existence here on earth is for us to be fruitful, is for us to multiply. And one of the ways to be fruitful is when you dedicate your service to God. Dedicate yourself to God. Dedicate all that you are to God. That is one way that you can be fruitful. That is one way that you can be productive. That is one way that you can have dominion. That is one way that you can subdue the earth. So I would like every one of us to understand that before we were born, that the Bible said before you were born, that I know you. Even before you were formed in your mother's womb, that He knows your name. That is to say, even before your parents even thought of meeting each other, God already had a plan for you. So what is your purpose? What is the reason why you exist? Are you living a purposeless life? Are you living a life that is not even in line with God's plan for you? Yes, just like I said before, the primary purpose why God created us here on earth is for us to be fruitful, is for us to multiply, is for us to subdue nations, is for us to have dominion, is for us to have charge, it's like for us to be stewards over the things on earth. That is the primary reason why God created us. But do you know there is a particular reason why you were created? Apart from this primary reason that God created us, there is a particular reason why God created you. Have you been able to discover that purpose? Have you been able to discover the reason why you were created? One of the I wrote down here, I said discovering purpose has to do with something that you like doing, something that will not just benefit you but also benefit the world. Yes, that is one way for you to be able to discover purpose. It has to do with something that you when you do, it benefit the world, because you cannot just be in a society whereby things are going wrong and then you are there. You must be able to find a particular solution to problems happening around you. That's one way to discover purpose. One way to discover purpose is you trying to discover a solution to a particular problem happening around you. You should not limit yourself. One of the ways for us to be able to live a life of purpose is that when you see yourself, you don't limit yourself. You don't limit yourself according to your present situation. Maybe because of what is happening around you, that you ask yourself, is it possible for me to do this? Is it possible for me to do that? Yes. The Bible says, come to me and I will show you great and mighty things that you do not even know about. So there are wonderful and great things that we have no idea about. And the only way we can come to that particular knowledge with God is when we come up to God's standard. God cannot go below his standard. No, you have to rise above your standard to meet up with God's standard. So every one of us should try as much as possible to discover the purpose why we exist here on earth. Your purpose might be different from my own purpose. Many people may not even have the same purpose. You might be doing well in that particular purpose where you've been able to discover your those talents that you have. You might be doing very well in that, and it doesn't necessarily mean I would go in line with what I see another person doing. You have to be able to ask the Lord for your own purpose. Lord, why do I exist on earth? What is my primary, apart from the primary purpose that you have given me, for me to subdue nation, for me to take charge, for me to take dominion over the things on earth? What is my own purpose? What is the reason why I was created? God has given us different gifts. He has given us different talents. If you can just know, if you can just sit down to know the amount of capacity that you carry, if you can just really sit down and just try to picture the kind of abilities, the kind of talents that God has placed inside of you, trust me, you will be wowed on a very serious note. So have you been able to discover those particular talents? What are you good at? What do you know how to do? What do you have passion for? That is one way for you to be able to discover purpose. What is that thing you really have passion for? What is this thing that makes you happy? What is that thing that you feel like if you do, it will not just benefit you, but also it will benefit people around you? That is one way for you to be able to discover purpose. So we have to be able to understand that God created us for his glory and for his pleasures. Yes, God knows there will be a particular problem here in this here on earth. There will be a particular issue at this point in time, and then he created who? He created this person. And why he created this person? For you to be able to arise and solve this particular problem when it arises. But then when you don't live a life of purpose, when you don't go walk along with God, when you don't walk with God, when you don't come up to his standard, how would he be able to give you that opportunity for you to be able to solve that particular problem of which you were created? So one thing for us to do today is for us to discover the reason why we were created on earth. God created us for a purpose. There is a reason why you exist. There is a reason why you were created. There is a reason why you were formed. Have you been able to discover that particular reason why you exist at this point in time? Have you been able to discover the reason why God created you? Have you been able to discover why you exist in that particular family of yours? Have you been able to discover why you exist in that particular society of yours? Have you been able to discover why you exist in that particular peer group of yours? You must be able to understand all these things, because if you live a life out of God's way, if you live a life out of God's purpose, there is no way you will be fulfilled. You must live a life according to God's plan, will, and direction for you. So one of the ways for you to be able to fulfill purpose is for you to ask the Lord, for you to ask Him. Yes, one way for you to be able to discover your purpose is for you to ask Him. Yes, He is your Father. Lord, why do I exist at this point in time? What is my reason for existing? What is my purpose for existing? Why did you create me? For what reason do I exist on earth? You must be able to ask Him, Lord, what are those things that you want me to do? And the second reason is second ways for you to be able to fulfill purpose is that you have to be able to listen to Him. In as much as you ask Him, He says something, you have to be able to listen to, you have to be able to be attentive to the things that He says. So when you are able to ask Him and for Him to be able to give you those particular reasons why you were created at this point in time, you must be able to be very attentive for you to be able to listen to Him. Thirdly, you have to be able to obey Him. When He says, this is the path I want you to go, this is the path I want you to talk, you have to be readily available. You must be able to obey God because one, He sees the end from the beginning. So if you have a God who sees the end from the beginning and He tells you to go this way, you have to be able to follow through that particular way that He asks you to go. He said He is the way, the truth, and the life. So you must be able to follow through. You must be able to obey Him. He said, if you love me, you must obey Him. One way for you to show the Lord that you love Him is for you to be able to obey Him. And number 4, you have to surrender to Him. God wants you to be submissive to Him. God does not want you to place Him. He doesn't want you to place something above Him. No. He doesn't want to be second option in our lives. He doesn't want to be one of the options. He wants to be the first and the only options in our life. So you have to come to a point where you tell yourself that, Lord, I surrender my life to you. I surrender my all to you. Use me for whatever you want me to do. Show me the path that I will go through. Show me what to do. Show me how to be able to do these things. Fourthly, you must be able to surrender to Him. And number 5, you must be able to live for Him. It is very, very important that your purpose align to His plans and His direction for you. When you're living a life that is not pleasing to God, trust me, you are living out of purpose. Because you cannot live a life out of purpose and say you are living for God. It is not possible. You must be able to live a life for Him. So when you see your life going in a very smooth direction, when you see your life going in a way that pleases God, that means you are living a life of purpose. But when you see yourself living outside God's way for you, when you see yourself living outside God's purpose for you, that is you not living a life of purpose. And trust me, there is no way you would be able to live a life that is fulfilled without you living a life of purpose. Thank you very much for watching.